It's 2025 mid-season review time for the West Coast Eagles. Let's have a look at what's happened so far this season and what we can expect for the rest of the year for the Eagles. This is the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. Sit back and enjoy. Welcome on in to the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. We've got another mid-season review coming your way today, and it is the West Coast Eagles 2025 mid-season review. It's been not the best start to the year for the Eagles, but we're going to go through it all for you today. We'll start with how they've gone so far this year. A look at their players, who's been good, who hasn't, and a look towards the rest of season 2025 and what we can expect to see from them in the remainder of the year. As we have been, as each team gets to the bye, we're doing a mid-season review, so there's already plenty up on the channel. Go back and check them all out. There's about 4 to go after this, which will be coming out in the following week. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments below how you see the Eagles 2025 panning out for the rest of the year. Don't forget, we also do podcasts. We do 2 a week on this channel. It also goes live on Spotify and YouTube on Apple Podcasts every single week. So go check all that out. This is All Aussie Rules everywhere. Let's jump into the West Coast Eagles 2025. And this is their season so far. A lot of red on the screen. It's not been great for them, let's be honest. They started, obviously, with a bye in opening round. They came out round 1 hosting Gold Coast and got absolutely pumped by 87 points. Never looked likely in that one. Round 2 wasn't actually that bad of a performance. Brisbane Lions, the reigning premiers at the Gabba, and they only went down by 19 points. It was a solid showing, but it wasn't enough to get any points out of it. They then had the derby, Western Derby against Fremantle, lost by 38 points. Not the greatest showing, weren't terrible, but it was certainly not great. Round 4, GWS over in Sydney and lost by 81 points. Got absolutely pumped. Round 5 was Carlton. That was Gather Round at Adelaide Oval. Lost by 71 points. Got pumped again. So things not looking great here. Round 6 they hosted the Bombers and they nearly got up in that game. In a lot of people's eyes, probably deserved that win. Lost by 2 points, but get no points again for that one. Round 7, Hawthorn, Marvel Stadium, lost by 50, never really in it. Round 8, Melbourne, hosted Melbourne, lost by 32 points, not a great showing, very disappointing. Round 9 against Richmond, only lost by 2 points at the MCG, gave themselves a chance that day, but in the end, Richmond just held on late. Round 10 was St Kilda at home for the Eagles, and the Eagles finally got their first win of season 2025 with a 28-point win over St Kilda. I know St Kilda haven't been great, especially over the last few months, but unbelievable that they won that one by 28 points from what they were showing us so far this season, and really since then as well. Round 11 was Adelaide. They lost that one by 66 points. Round 12, they played Geelong at home and lost by 43. Round 13 was North Melbourne at Hands Oval, so it was in WA, not at, obviously, West Coast home ground, but still over in WA. And they wasted opportunities throughout the first 3 quarters. Could have been further ahead, but weren't. And in the end, North Melbourne came storming home over the top and beat them by 10 points. Carlton in round 14 was at Optus Stadium, and they lost to the Blues for the second time inside the first 14 rounds, this time by 34 points. They've played 14 games, 1 win, 13 losses. A low percentage of 65.1, as you would expect when they've only won 1 out of 14 games. Ladder, they sit 18th on the ladder. Their record against the top 8 is 0-7. They've played 7 out of the 8 top 8 teams so far this year and not had success. Their record against the bottom 10, obviously 1-6. That one win being against St Kilda. It's not been great for them. You look at the stats, it's very hard to find anything worth talking about in a positive light for the Eagles. 17th offensively in terms of scoring, 18th defensively also in terms of scoring. It's just not good enough. The thing is, their accuracy is really poor. That has certainly hurt them. They're 15th in the AFL at shots per game, so they drop a couple spots because of accuracy to their offensive scoring. So they could be slightly better if they kick straight. Maybe that would affect a couple results here or there. Like they've had obviously 2 losses within a kick, one more within 2 kicks. So it does tally up, but it's hard to find any numbers where they are even remotely competitive with other teams. They are a long way off at the moment on pretty much every category. No matter how you look at it, it's the numbers don't read well for West Coast so far this season. We'll move into the players. As always, we start in the back line. Little explanation on all these numbers. We do a rating after every game and position. Whatever position they play the most of throughout the season is the position they're then going to be ranked in. We then give them a class. Top 10% is elite. 10 to 25% is top class. 25 to 40 is above average. 40 to 60 is average. And then everything below 60 is below average. If they've played less than 5 games this season, they are unranked. So you'll see a few of them throughout the next couple pages. Worth noting as well, if they play less than 50% game time in a match, that rating does not count towards their season rating. Key defenders, this is a hard one. Jeremy McGovern, we know he's an absolute star. He rated as elite in the 6 games he played, 55.5 rating, second best key defender in the game. And unfortunately, we're not going to see him again on the football field. He has this week announced that he's been medically retired. Gutting news for him, gutting news for the Eagles. There's not much else to say about it. He's been an absolute star for many years for this team, all the way from when he debuted. And the last couple of years, he's been in and out of the team a lot, but he has been fantastic in all of that. Certainly disappointing, and more importantly, well, less importantly, fair, I guess, in a way, but in terms of West Coast, it leaves a massive hole in their back line. Obviously, losing Tom Barras last year, chucking in now the fact that McGovern's gone as well, leaves a massive hole in that key defender stock. And as you can see from the numbers there, the next 3 in line, Ginby, Brock and Edwards all rate below average. They all have potential. They're all very young. It's going to be an issue for them going forward, I think, is the fact that they really struggle with key defence stocks, even more so now that McGovern is officially done for his career. Moving to the general defenders, we'll skip Tom McCarthy for a little minute. Liam Baker, top class, obviously joined the team. He's been pretty solid for them this year. Obviously, the ball goes down that way a lot, so he gets plenty of opportunities. Ryan Marich is only in the average category. Liam Duggan also only in the average category. He's certainly capable of a lot better than that. I don't think we've seen his best this season. Tom Cole, he's below average. Tyrell Dewar is also below average, and Bo Allen is unranked, playing 4 games, but rating would be below average as well. Tom McCarthy, mid-season draft pick, gets a game about 10 days later, plays his first AFL match and has an outstanding game of 30-something touches on debut. He's unranked because he's only played 1 game, but that was a really good game. Don't expect that every single week from him, but it's a promising sign at least that maybe they have somebody that can get plenty of the football back there, because that's been a major issue. They don't have anyone winning the ball. He was the first player for them this year to have over 30 touches in a game. That's absurd. Moving into the forward line, key forwards, another spot where they really struggled this year. Jack Williams is rated as their best key forward. I don't think he is their best key forward, but he's been ranked 24th for the year in terms of all key forwards. So that's probably where he is at, but the next 2 are probably both below average. Jake Waterman, he's played 8 games, rates as average. He's out for the rest of the season as well, which is bad news for them. But he didn't live up to what he did last year, but hopefully a long pre-season this year, and he comes back next year, hopefully even better. Oscar Allen, same story, played a few more games, but he is now out for the season as well. Was fantastic, has shown signs of being fantastic at his best, but just hasn't been able to put it forward so far this year. Archer Reed played 11 games. He rates below average so far, and in all honesty, has not been spectacular. General forwards, once again, not a huge amount of outstanding performances here. Jamie Cripps has been their best rated player so far this year. He's rated above average, 33rd best general forward. Liam Ryan shown signs, he's 43rd in that average category, and then the rest are either below average or worse. Tyler Brockman's played 11 games. Matthew Uys, who's come across from Carlton and has not performed perhaps anywhere near to the standard they were hoping they would see from him, he's ranked 80th. Hamish Davies, unranked at the moment from 4 games. Noah Long, below average, 87th best general forward. And then Jack Petroselli has only played the 1 game so far, and he is unranked without a rating because that was less than 50% game time in that match. Moving into the midfield, inside mids, once again, as we've seen throughout the rest of their field, I guess, just not quite any top-end talent. Not enough, at least, that's for sure. Jack Graham is their highest-ranked midfielder so far this year at 51st in the competition. You're just not winning enough of the football if that is what you're putting out. Clay Hall, he's only played 4 games, but his ranking's not super high either. Harley Reid has not been anywhere near good enough so far this year, I don't think. At times we see some good football from him. When he's playing midfield, he certainly looks a lot better. When they're putting him around the ground, he doesn't look as good. He's a contested ball winner. They need him in the middle, but he's shown some signs recently that he is starting to develop back into what we saw a lot of him from last year, which was definitely a lot of potential. Elijah Hewitt ranks 76 as inside mid. I think we need to see a bit more from him as well. Tom Gross played 6 games, unranked at the moment. Tim Kelly, below average. He plays a bit of half forward, he plays a bit of inside mid, and to be honest, he's nowhere near what we saw from him 3 or 4 years back. He's dropped off a lot. At the moment, he wouldn't be getting a game at many teams, I don't think. Brady Howe, similar story, not putting up massive numbers. It's hard when there's so much reliance on so many young players, but they just don't have that class in there. There's too many injuries. Obviously, Elliot Yeo, all these season-ending injuries has completely ruined them. But at the end of the day, you've got to play with what you've got. And there's just so many players that just aren't at that level. Jaden Hunt and Jack Hutchinson in the outside mid, both rate below average, 33rd and 36th best outside mids in the competition. So not great numbers there either. Jumping into the ruckman, they've had 2 play. They both play together quite often. Matt Flynn's played 10 matches, rates below average. His numbers are okay, 17th best ruckman in the competition, which basically tells you that he's one of the worst couple starting ruckman in the competition. Probably hasn't lived up to what they're hoping either, in all honesty. Bailey Williams, he's played 8 games and his ranking's even lower, so there's just too many gaps in this lineup, I think. If we go to the next shot, which is the positional spread, and they've only got 1 elite player, 1 top class player, and 1 above average player, so that's only 3 players in the top 40% of the competition. That's just not good enough in terms of hoping to succeed in modern day football, and they only have 10 that are in the top 60% of the competition, so that's even worse when less than half of your team is in the top 60% of the competition. You're just not going to have that much success. There's too many people in that below average category. When you take out the fact that their elite key defender is gone, they've got nobody else average or above. General defenders, they only have 3 in the above or better categories, which is probably decent and probably their strongest area, in all honesty. Key forwards is the same 3, but they're all in average. 2 for general forwards, 1 inside mid, no outside mids, and no ruckman in average or better. So they're just lacking depth across the ground. There's just no 2 ways about it. That's just how it is. We move to what they have to come in the remainder of season 2025. A little explanation here. We do an ELO rating system here at All Aussie Rules, and this basically gives us who should win expected win percentage. It's not perfect, I'm not going to pretend it is, but it's just a little indication of the chances of each team in each game. And that's basically sums it up. That gives us an expected win total, which we use to become our expected ladder each week. Coming out of the bye, round 16, they have Collingwood at Marvel. That's going to be a tough one for them. There's no doubt about that. Top of the ladder versus bottom of the ladder. It's hard to see West Coast doing too much in that one. GWS at Optus Stadium, also tough. I mean, every game's tough for them. Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval is another tough one. Round 19 against Richmond over in the West. That's probably their biggest chance to get a win in the run home, is that Richmond game. They need to win that one. Round 20 is Fremantle at Optus Stadium. That's going to be tough just for the fact that Fremantle are flying at the moment. It is the derby, so strange things can happen, but I just don't see it happening. Round 21, Melbourne at Marvel. That won't be easy, even though Melbourne aren't playing spectacular football. Round 22 is Adelaide at Optus Stadium. That's not an easy one. Bulldogs at Marvel. That's a really tough one. And finish with Sydney at Optus Stadium. Potentially a dead rubber, that game, depending how Sydney are going. They might be playing for a finals berth. I can't see them winning that one either, though. The West Coast Eagles gives us an expected total of 2.73 wins. And an expected ladder position of obviously 18th, where they're sitting. On track for Wooden Spoon, you'd think. In all honesty, I only really see one win there, which is the Richmond one. It's hard to see them winning too many others. That would only give them 2 wins for the season. It's a big ask for more than that from this stage, I think, for West Coast. It's going to be tough. There's no two ways about it. That's everything I have for you in this West Coast Eagles mid-season review. It's a little bit of a shorter one compared to some of the others. It's just there's a lot of stats that we could go through, but none of it's positive for the Eagles, and I just don't see too many positives from them at the moment. They have a lot of young players, which is obviously good. How many of them are going to develop into great players? Who knows? It's hard to develop players, young players, when there's not good core senior players around them. I know they do off the field with injuries and stuff, have some good senior players. But it's a long road back for the Eagles at the moment. They've had a couple of years down there in the bottom end of the competition, and it's hard to see them bouncing back too quickly based on what we've seen so far this year and over the last year as well. There's a long gap for them to catch up to like 15th and above on the AFL ladder. So it's probably going to be a big, long road ahead. But the rest of this year is going to be the hardest, I think, because they've got a lot of injuries that are out for the season. And it's going to be a battle. Can they win more than 2 games? Can they win a second game? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button. Go check out the rest of the mid-season reviews. Check out the podcast. All of that. All Aussie Rules everywhere. Social media. Everything. Go check it out. I'm Jay. Catch ya next time.